You know, when you think of killer robots, your mind probably jumps straight to science fiction, right? Well, forget the movies. Autonomous weapons are no longer some futuristic idea. They're very much a reality right now, and they're sparking a brand new, high-tech arms race that's changing the face of war as we know it.
Take a look at this. In early 2023, the Russian Marker combat robot rolled right onto the front lines in Ukraine. The easiest way to think about it is like a tank that can actually hunt all by itself. Its deployment wasn't just another piece of military hardware hitting the field. It was a huge step up in autonomous warfare.
In its mission, it was spelled out, crystal clear. This quote from the former head of Russia's space program, Dmitry Rogozin, confirms that these robots were sent to hunt. Their software was literally loaded up with images of Western tanks, and they were armed to the teeth with weapons to go find and destroy them on their own.
Now, as you can imagine, the arrival of systems like the Marker on a real battlefield hasn't exactly gone unnoticed. In fact, it's really the flashpoint of a fierce global debate that's been raging for more than a decade now. So let's take a look at the powerful pushback against these kinds of weapons.
First things first, let's be really clear about what we're talking about here. The official term is Lethal Autonomous Weapon Systems, or LAWS for short. And what that means are machines that, once you activate them, can make the decision to use deadly force entirely by themselves, without a human in the loop pulling the trigger for every single shot.
The opposition to this has been organized, and it's been loud for years. The campaign to stop killer robots actually kicked off way back in 2013. It's gotten support from thousands of AI experts and top scientists. We're talking big names. And it's even won peace awards, all while warning about the very AI arms race that we're seeing unfold right now.
And hey, this isn't just a debate for the experts. A global poll back in 2018 found that 61% of the public is already against these weapons. And the reason why is pretty powerful. Two-thirds of the people who were opposed said they felt that letting machines make the decision to kill crosses a fundamental moral line.
And that feeling, that moral objection, it goes right to the very top. The UN Secretary General himself, Antonio Guterres, came out with this incredibly strong condemnation, calling these weapons morally repugnant and demanding that they be banned under international law.
So, with such strong moral arguments and a majority of the public against it, you'd think getting a ban would be pretty straightforward. But it's not. The world is actually deeply divided on this, and it's created a standoff that's fueling a whole new kind of arms race.
And the divide is pretty stark when you look at it. On one side, you have dozens of nations, a lot of them from the global south, who are calling for a preemptive ban. But on the other side, you have a small but very powerful group of the world's biggest military and tech powers, and that includes Russia, the US, and the UK, who are actively fighting a ban while also developing these very systems.
Russia's position, as they stated it at the UN, is completely unambiguous. They are firmly against any new international treaty that would restrict the development or use of these autonomous weapons, period.
So what's their official reason? Well, it's pretty much twofold. First, they argue that the international laws of war that already exist are good enough. And second, they claim a ban could actually hurt the very AI research that powers so many of our civilian, high-tech gadgets and industries. It's that classic debate, right? Security versus innovation.
But this isn't just diplomatic talk. This opposition is backed by a massive, concrete, long-term strategic plan. Russia's state armament program, which is basically a 10-year roadmap that spells out their entire military future.
So this program sets out their big priorities for the next decade. And yeah, modernizing their nuclear forces is still a top priority, but it's the other pillars that show you where the real shift is happening. A massive investment in automation, in AI, and, this is the key, in advanced robotic weapon systems. That's on top of developing things like space assets and electronic warfare. This is literally the blueprint for the new arms race.
And Russia is definitely building on a strong foundation here. President Putin has said that 95% of the country's strategic nuclear forces are already modernized. With that cornerstone totally secured, they can now pour immense resources into developing these next-generation AI and robotic platforms.
And the war in Ukraine has basically supercharged the industrial machine they need for this pivot. I mean, look at these numbers. Production of munitions has surged by over 2,200%. This massive industrial ramp-up isn't just about fighting the current war. It's the economic engine that's funding the development of all the autonomous systems in their 10-year plan.
So of course, this kind of strategic focus from Russia doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It presents a direct and really urgent challenge to NATO and the West, forcing them to respond, and in doing so, speeding up the very arms race the critics have been worried about for years.
The conflict has, in effect, become a real-world laboratory for autonomous warfare.
Both sides are innovating at a breakneck speed. They're testing drones, AI targeting, and uncrewed systems in the heat of battle. What's being learned on the ground today is directly shaping the killer robots of tomorrow. This whole situation forces Western nations into a really difficult spot, making them grapple with some major challenges. I mean, how do you counter cheap, mass-produced drones with your expensive, super sophisticated hardware? How do you reform those notoriously slow government buying processes to keep up with this rapid innovation? And maybe the biggest question of all, how do you even integrate these unpredictable autonomous systems into rigid military plans without risking some kind of catastrophic failure or, losing meaningful human control?
But beyond all the strategy and all the technology, this all comes back to one fundamental, unresolved problem. It's the issue that's at the heart of the entire ethical debate. And as this research paper puts it so well, the core problem is accountability.
So we're left with this critical question. When an autonomous weapon misidentifies a school bus as a tank or a wedding party as a group of enemy fighters, who's to blame? Is it the programmer, the commander who deployed it, the company that built it, or does responsibility itself just become another casualty of war? Answering that might just be the greatest challenge of this entire new arms race.